Are we live? Oh boy, why good salutations everyone, PK156 here, and yep, as you can see, it's that time of the day again, and indeed it is. It has been a good long minute since I last touched this game on camera, and today's no different, as we're going to be picking up exactly where we left off last time, ladies and gentlemen. Previously, we both beat the game in 100%, just about every world in the game. We beat Bowser, we beat the special world 100% obviously, and we got all the badges alongside 5 glorious medals to just hang on to our save file for bragging rights, I suppose. But anyways, last time I obviously didn't 100% the game, since there was one tedious challenge standing between myself, and that of 100% completion, and that was the Standees, or how I like to call them, the gachapon phase of the game. Since, for those of you who don't know, to officially 100% the game, you not only have to obviously get all the flower coins and every 10 coin level, but you also have to get the 6 medals in the game, which you can acquire by, well, by doing explanatory things, beating the game, obviously getting all the wonder seeds, all the 10 flower coins, by, I believe one of them was getting all the badges, and pretty self-explanatory things, and they were pretty easy to obtain, not gonna lie. This game is very easy, isn't that all that difficult, in my opinion. But the one challenge that was the most time-consuming is the Standee one, since to acquire a medal, you're meant to grab every single Standee in the game. For those who don't know what these things are, they're basically just act as online checkpoints for you to basically leave in a quote-unquote difficult level for most people to just bypass to activate and to use as a checkpoint. Since once activated, I just said it myself, it's going to act as a checkpoint, and well, people who then die later could just respawn at that point if they don't feel like just backtracking to the beginning of the level due to lacking checkpoints, which in a way could be helpful for beginner players, obviously. But the point is, it's a very time-consuming thing. There are 144 of these to collect, and the reason as to why I call them gachapons is because there are a lot of them to collect. Sure, you have the option to buy in the Standee shop for 10 coins, but if you buy those kinds of Standees, it's random, and that's where the gachapon logic comes into play. Buying those ones will get you a random one, whether it be a random character you already have or a random character you don't have. So it's essentially just a coin flip gamble. But the more of them you have, the closer you getting to getting all of them, the less likely RNG is to just be generous with you straight up. And well, when you're dealing with all this, yeah, definitely know what I mean. However, you do have the option to just go to the special world and just buy Standees in the Standee shop, which in my opinion is perhaps the best way to actually get the medal itself, since sure, they cost more, they cost 30 coins instead of 10, but at least you're guaranteed to get something you don't have. So in my opinion, that's why it's worth it. Well, you might, and before you say, well, how can you possibly, why do you, good gosh, one moment please, experiencing some technical difficulties. Well, you might be asking yourself, so hey, this doesn't seem too difficult or time consuming. What's so time consuming about this, PK156? Well, unto you, Jimmy, I say, the reason as to why this is time consuming is because you need flower coins. The flower coins are basically act as a currency in the game, which you need to use to both buy badges and, yes, you guessed it, Standees. However, they're certainly not cheap, since you actually have to grind them in levels, and it can take a very long time. Especially for those like me who actually 100% the game, you need them to buy badges, and badges are pretty dang expensive in the game. And after you basically get every flower coin in the game there is, they're only gonna be worth 3 coins instead of, well, you know, 10 flower coins, as depicted by their visuals, which makes grinding a bit tedious and, yes, you guessed it, time-consuming. But nevertheless, that is why I'm here to yet again come to the rescue. I know I previously provided a guide stating that 1-1 was the easiest and quote-unquote fastest level to grind, but looking back, do yourself a good old favor and ignore what I just said in that video. That's actually wrong. Grinding 1-1, sure, it is the shortest level in the game, but it's gonna absolutely take you forever to grind. I actually, after a bit of investigation and, well, gameplay obviously, I found a much faster and much more reliable method to grinding flower coins, and may or may not have something to do with this quote-unquote trial. And I know what you're thinking. Why do I heck do I have Nabbit for this? I know I never used the quote-unquote easy characters in the game. And well, Jimmy, to answer the question for the second time, the reason as to why I encourage you to pick Nabbit, and the reason as to why I'm also Nabbit is because he's invincible. Just like the Yoshis and Nabbit as the quote-unquote easy characters as the game depicts them as, they don't take damage from anything and they're pretty much invincible. Well, invincible to everything except, well, bottomless pits, lava, poison, and of course my favorite, suffocation. However, the characters are very reliable when it comes to at least bypassing through enemies straight up you don't want to deal with, and especially if patience is just something you really don't have, and well, that's somewhat the point of this video. Patience is something that you really want to have when it comes to playing this game, since that's when the grinding aspect comes into play. But anyways, with enough chatter and explanations out of the way, let me give you a slight demonstration of what I exactly mean. So the first thing you want to do to quickly grind flower coins and to thus grind the final and most time-consuming medal in the entire game is to pick Nabbit or the Yoshis, whichever you prefer. I prefer Nabbit since the flutter jump doesn't get in the way as much when you jump, so he's in a way a bit faster in his own way. So what you want to do is you want to pick Nabbit. I recommend you go for the fast dash stat, since that badge lets you run dash as the name suggests, dash a lot faster than normal, and it increases your walking speed by a little bit, as the game puts it. Sure, I hear you, I could have just used this badge to jet run, but the only problem with that badge is maneuvering and position is really not much of an option with that badge, and since you're dealing with a lot of the bottomless pits in this level, if you don't have a whole lot of experience, then I recommend you just go with fast dash. It might just be the quote-unquote safer option out of the two. Once you got everything set up, backtrack to Shining Falls, specifically the Sugar Star Trail across the night sky, and enter the level. I'll get into the explanations momentarily, but however, before I do get into game logic, I also want to point out another unique attribute present within Nabbit exclusive to Nabbit and the Yoshis. For one, for second, they can use power-ups. Just like that. If you collect the power-up, it'll just go into your inventory straight up. However, this is where it gets interesting. If you already have a power-up in your inventory and if you collect another one, that power-up is going to turn into a flower coin, which is why I'm not sure if that applies to the Yoshis. I only know it with Nabbit since I never use Yoshi. I've used Nabbit a lot more, well, because when it came to grinding at least, but I believe that the same logic applies to the Yoshis. But anyways, the point is, when you're collecting a power-up, when you have a power-up already stored in your inventory will turn into a flower coin. And this is very effective since you guessed it, it makes grinding all the less time-consuming. And, well, when you want to get something swiftly, it makes a huge difference. And, obviously, to point out the obvious, just like that, Nabbit doesn't take any damage, so with that explanation out of the way, you obviously want to get the fire flower from that box. Make sure you have another power-up currently stored in your inventory, that way it turns into a free coin. And then touch the Wonder Flower. And from there, just basically play the level quote-unquote casually as intended by just grabbing every flower coin you can get your hands on. I also recommend you grab the 10 flower coins. By that I mean the biggest flower coins there are, that you're normally meant to that are required to collect for 100% completion. Specifically these ones right there, the one I just got right there. The reason as to why you want to do that is because sure, I hear you, they're not worth as much as they normally would be when you haven't collected them. But the reason as to why you don't really want to grab them is because they're worth 3 flower coins. No, not 3 cents, not 3 cents worth of flower coins, but 3 flower coins overall, which is surely gonna make a huge difference when they all enter your bank account. So you definitely want to collect them a lot more often than every other flower coin in the level, especially when it comes to grinding, since it'll just make it all the faster. But once you've done that, once you've gotten all 3 of them and you got both power-ups, by that I mean the one power-up stored in this box right there and the mushroom which pops up later on. From there, all you want to do is when you approach the platform where the Wonder Seed lies, you want to, you guessed it, as you just saw, commit suicide and straight up kill yourself. Since killing yourself is actually going to be a lot faster than rather just clearing the level, so it's going to make a huge difference. And yeah, I hear you, it's gonna cost 1 life, I'm gonna get game over, etc. It could go both ways, depends on how many coins you have and how many lives you obviously have, since this level is pretty dang generous with coins, and in a way you could just endlessly grind for them if you really felt like that, taking the time to do all that. But anyways, that's just about all you need to know when it comes to grinding the Sugar Star trial, at least across Night Sky. But before I mention anything else, I also want to get one thing out of the way. Whatever you do, once you do get enough, once you do grab enough and you clear yourself, and you have like say you need 3 more and say you need like 3 more Standees like I do, and they all cost 30 coins, and thus you would need you need 90 flower coins total to purchase them. And that, in case like those, in which you would then get enough, and then you would have to exit the level, whatever you do, under all circumstances, do not select exit level. If you do that, as the game describes, it's going to erase just about all the progress you made in the level, at least up to the point, at least everything after you clear, at least everything before you cleared it normally as intended by obviously touching the flagpole. And if you do that, well, then you're not going to make any progress whatsoever. So once you do get enough, whatever you do yourself a good favor and touch the flagpole and do not exit the level, or else you'll lose all your progress. So take notes, ladies and gentlemen, take notes indeed. It's indeed a very useful tip. But anyways, in cases like mine, as you previously saw, I only need 3 more Standees to 100% this game. So thus, since they're each worth 30 flower coins, I need 90 of them. So we're going to be here for at least a bit longer. But don't worry, I won't bore you. I'm not gonna put you through the same torture I almost put you through last time. Since you're in luck, it's that time of the day again, or the time of video where I assault you with lore. Talk about Nabbit for a while, who's not really a well-known Nintendo or Mario character put like that. Actually has a funny history. Originally appeared in Mario Brothers U, as most of you played the game know well, as a thief. Which is pretty interesting. You might be wondering how the heck he went to being a thief to just a quote-unquote hero, and well, that question is up to debate, since turns out Nabbit really isn't on Bowser or Mario's side. He just, as the game puts it, he's just a character who's just keeping a quote-unquote close eye on Mario, which is pretty interesting. Though yet it's at the same time valid, since for those of you who recall, and by that I mean for those of you who 100% Mario Brothers U Deluxe, there was actually one... Oh, I have enough flower coins. Forgot to mention that, but for those of you who eventually came across a purple toad house, which basically contained a lot of your overall progress regarding your star coin counter. Well, it turns out that, believe it or not, that's actually Nabbit's house, which obviously led many people to believe he was a toad, though it is still yet again up to debate, since he's really a thief and it really hasn't been confirmed. But as it turns out, the reason as to why this is valid is because in Wonder, the game says Nabbit's really just an individual just keeping a close eye on Mario. And it actually makes a lot more sense when you actually think about it, since in that purple house, there was information all about you, and Nabbit clearly was keeping track of just about all your movements, which leads me to think that the reason as to why Nabbit even helped you, this is a theory by the way, I don't know if this is actually true or not, so it could go both ways, which leads me to believe that the reason as to why Nabbit eventually joined up with Luigi for quote-unquote New Super Luigi U, and eventually joined Mario in later adventures as the quote-unquote hero, probably because he wanted to further learn Mario's tactics just to prevent getting caught, since he's an outlaw. He's an outlaw. Obviously, he's a wanted criminal. He's not good or bad. He isn't on Mario or Bowser's sides. He's just, you know, an outlaw, a thief. This leads me to believe that he basically just wanted to become like Mario himself. That way, he could just counter Mario's tactics and thus prevent getting caught while he was stealing another item. That way, he could get away with just about any crime he committed, for his own benefit, obviously. But that's just a theory, so the topic is still well up to debate. But anyways, with 14 minutes on the table, and with 14 minutes out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is 95 flower coins. I repeat, once you do get enough of them, clear the level. Do not exit the level from the menu, or else you'll lose all your progress. Trust me, you won't regret it. It's for the better. and you don't want to spend 20 years on this. Grinding's already made you suffer enough. So anyways, once you do get all that nonsense out of the way, care for a Standee? Heck yeah, you bet I do. Anyways, Standee shop. I've got a variety of Standees. If you're looking to buy Standees, this is the perfect shop for you. Take note that the only way to actually get to the Standee shop and actually have control over which Standees you buy, you actually have to at least beat one special world level. In my case, as previously mentioned, 100% the game already. But to unlock the Standee shop, you at least have to beat one special world level from any world. So keep that in mind. Take notes. It's not just for free. If you just try to go buy Standees from a shop, you'll only buy the Standee surprise, and I recommend you avoid those. It's for better, since as the description puts it, buy one of these to get a Standee at random. It's a surprise every time. It works just like gachapons, as I mentioned at the start of the video, and you have no control. No control as to which character is gonna pop up, and there's a very good chance it's gonna be the same one if you have little Standees left to collect, which gachapon logic, am I right? But thankfully, that's something we don't have to worry about, since as previously mentioned, we only have 30 Standees to go, and they all just happen to be for Nabbit, the character we're playing as. What a coincidence, and how convenient, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, Nabbit Standee surprise. Buy one of these to get a Nabbit Standee that you don't have yet. It's the best way to round out your collection. Buy them individually. Buy the expensive ones. I recommend you avoid the Standee surprise. It's better to actually guarantee to get something just to play chance time. Trust me. Anyways, which one? They're they have the same structure as for every Standee. You have one jumping, one running, one swimming, crouching, Jugemu Cloud, Goomba, etc. But I will say, in my opinion, I'd say my favorite Standee would be the Goomba Nabbit, just because of how adorable it looks. Especially with the handkerchief, which is also the one that Dr. Jr. just happens to wear. Pretty funny. He's a bandit after all. So funny enough, at least according to the quote-unquote Super Mario Brothers wiki, it pretty much states that Nabbit supposedly has quote-unquote bug teeth behind the handkerchief, which is pretty interesting, and considering the fact, which is pretty interesting. I mean, he is a quote-unquote rabbit after all. I mean, Nabbit, in case you couldn't tell by the name. It's pretty clever. Rabbit plus being a thief, you know. Pretty cute, pretty clever, obviously pretty clever logic, but anyways. Back to buying things, oh boy. Nice. Done and done, ladies and gentlemen. Done and done indeed. Just like that. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is every Standee in the game. Just like that. That's just what I was waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. You collected all the Standees, earn you a medal. That makes 6. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am proud to announce that we have officially, or at least I have officially, 100% Super Mario Brothers Wonder 1 week later. And I gotta say, it's definitely one of my favorite 2D Mario games probably ever released. I can't tell you for how long I've been waiting for Nintendo to make an actual original Mario adventure. By that I mean features original characters, unique levels, creativity, and etc. This is a pretty solid game overall. A pretty easy one, I will say, and with pretty clever level design and with decent creativity, level design, and obviously a good soundtrack. But I'd say if there's one thing I'd say the game could use some work would be, you know, grinding. Since that's something that a lot of people don't have patience with. Gaming may or may not have taught me a thing or two about patience, as most of you are well aware of. But just like that, patience is key, ladies and gentlemen. Patience is key indeed, and all my grinding has paid off. That makes 6 indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And just like that, I'm proud to announce that those are our 6 beautiful medals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And every Standee in the game for every character. I'm obviously not gonna talk about them one by one, but for those of you curious, here you go. You have the standard jumping ones, the swimming, Too Bad, running, Copycat, Goomba, crouching, posing, or Jugemu's Cloud, or Lakiitu's Cloud, however you want to call it, ground pounding, balloon, and spike ball. Interestingly, they didn't put the jelly transformation there, but I won't complain. It makes all the more less things to go for. But I gotta be honest, I would have rather that they put the jelly one instead of just having, you know, the swimming, jumping, and generic ones like the jump, like the swimming or the crouch. I say crouching's probably the only one I don't like. I would have rather seen the jelly one rather than crouching, since that's something you could call quote-unquote original one way or another. But just like that, the same structure applies to just about every single character in the game. To light blue Yoshi, to yellow Yoshi, to red Yoshi, which is in this game depicted as a very, you know, angry person. Or animal, to put it like that. Well, you have green Yoshi, Toadette, blue Kinopio, or blue, aka Blue Toad, or aka, as little people know him as, Buckenberry. That's his real name, by the way. That's Blue Toad's real name, or Blue Kinopio's real name. I don't know. Yellow Toad also had an official name like Buckenberry, which originated in Mario Wii, though I forgot his name. Don't kill me in the comment section, I'm sorry. And of course, you have everyone's favorite damsel in distress, Daisy, Princess Peach, Luigi, everyone's favorite protagonist, and of course, the star of the show, Mario himself. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up indeed. Nicely done indeed. And before, I know this is gonna just sound very random, just straight up, but before we obviously just press the end stream button that I'm currently staring to death on in my monitor, can I just be the first to say how in this game they gave Nabbit a lot more voice samples? You don't believe me? Just listen to this. He certainly became a cute one, didn't he? He went from being one of the most silent characters in Mario to being one of the cutest. What did you know? He's become Boo himself. How adorable. I guess one way or another he has become a quote-unquote hero, but the topic is, as previously mentioned, to debate. But anyways, it is safe for the second time since you can never be too sure of things, and I'm going to help myself to return the title. So just stare at my save file straight up, that way 100% completion is a thing. And just like that, the title screen changed. What did you know? There's a black background instead of a white one. What did you know? Details are where I appreciate. I really did like the boxer for this game. Anyways. And just like that, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. That stamp I was waiting to get for about a week or so now, and just like that, 6 medals to grab, a lot of flower coins and wonder seeds, and of course the royal seeds. Thankfully, and well, the badges, of course. But the way I'll know you 100% something is to always look at be on the lookout for the flower stamp, the flower stamp with the check mark, which clearly stands out and lets you know you 100% something, and you really just squeeze all the juice that is percentage out of something. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, both my practice save file and, you guessed it, my YouTube file, or the file used for the content provided, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It has truly been a pleasure and an honor to play this game, and to obviously, as always, provide you with content like these, with guidance and content like this, ladies and gentlemen. You know how much it warms my heart to absolutely provide you and to entertain you with gaming content, ladies and gentlemen. It's exactly what I temporarily do for a living at the moment, but nevertheless, I'm still happy to be here. This was one heck of an adventure, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed this game to death straight up. If you haven't picked this up, you're perhaps missing on Mario's greatest adventure in years. So I recommend you pick this game up whenever you can. It may seem a bit weird to some first glance, but you know the good old saying, you can never judge a book by its cover. So a much bigger adventure lies within, ladies and gentlemen. And just like that, with those final words out of the way, I am proud to say that this is temporarily the end until Nintendo considers releasing more content for the game, which is up to debate whether or not they might do so, or they might, but nevertheless, I'll be patient. The next game I'm going to tackle will obviously be Mario RPG, which, stay tuned, since I'm going to play that game. I can guarantee that, since I obviously, you know, I'm a Mario fan, as some might put it. But anyways, with that out of the way, stay tuned for that game, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the part of the video where I thank you all so much for watching. I know I said this before, and I'll say it again, it has been a pleasure being with you throughout this entire series, and I thank you all so much for your support and for just about everything you've done. It means a whole lot to me, and you guys really are the best. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I, as always, wish you all a fantastic day. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and by that I mean until I upload the true final boss in Sonic Superstars. Stay tuned, as always, ladies and gentlemen. Have an amazing day, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye. Have a good one.